Are you ready to go? Here we go. All right, let's do this thing. So tonight the word is, hey, it's hope. And so we are in the second week of that and looking at hope. I just would like you to do something because some of you have been kind of quiet for a bit here. And I want you to do this, first of all, in a just kind of a fun way. Just turn to somebody and say, there's hope for you. All right. That's enough right there. It's like, hey, I want to come say to you tonight, there is hope for you. That's one of the biggest things we want to be able to talk about. So when we come to this, I want to be able to also say to you that hope is the bridge to a new life. Hope's the bridge to a new life. That's really important for you to know. So we have some big things that we need to be focusing on tonight. And I want to be able to think about what hope is. I was thinking about hope today, but in my life sometimes I think about hope, but then my mind goes to like, oh, hope. But then I think, why is it that my mind can go to the opposite? For instance, watch this. Here's hope, and you kind of go like, okay, hope. I don't know. I'm not sure really what that is. But then if you say despair, do you know what despair feels like? Yeah, a lot of room. Despair. It's weird, isn't it? When we go to the opposite, when we go to the negative, all of a sudden our brain goes to like, oh yeah, I know what that feels like. You know why that is? It's such a hard, strong trigger in our lives because that triggers the hurt. So as soon as we have hurt in our life, as soon as we have something that is messing us up, we just go and go like, oh, I feel that pain. And pain is a huge trigger in your head. By the way, when you know this is an amazing thing is, if you truly understand some element of despair, and when you actually receive hope, you actually know the difference. It's like something goes like, I get it. Something is in my head and it works. You know, there's this little prefix that comes before words. It's dis. So that's when you diss somebody, right? So here's the dis. It's like, for instance, maybe you thought about this. It says, if you say the dis before the word, it's like it makes the word it's not the right, it's negative, right? That's what it is. It's negative. Like, for instance, dis-ease. Anyone got dis-ease? You know what? You get a disease in your life? It's dis-ease. Ease is the thing you go like, I want my life to be, anybody in the world want your life to be just easy? Ease. It's going to be great. But then we have dis-ease, means like we're sick. It's interesting this little prefix comes up a lot. I think about this tonight, and Johnson Street Bridge is called the what bridge that we call it here in Victoria? What do we call it? Blue Bridge. So if you go to the Blue Bridge, they built the Blue Bridge in 1921 to 1923. That's the time they built it. So then we just recently reopened the Blue Bridge, right? New Blue Bridge. Now we got a big Blue Bridge, and it's like they started out, by the way, they thought, hey, if we just we could build a really great bridge for about $49 million. That's what the idea was, right? Some of you follow this because you all know the city politics and stuff. And then they came to a decision, say, that's not enough money. We should probably spend some more money. So they said, we have to raise that up to $62 million. When they finished the Blue Bridge that you can see in the city, it's over $105 million, right? And it took longer than the first time. I don't know what the deal is with that, right? Everything's so progressive now. Everything's moving. How many people go across the Blue Bridge every day? 30,000. 30,000 transactions on the Blue Bridge every day. 4,000 people walk across the Blue Bridge every day. 4,000. 3,000 bikers ride across the Blue Bridge every day. If you haven't gone on the Blue Bridge, I would encourage you, take some time on the weekend, whether during the day or in the night, go down there. It's actually spectacular. My son, who's living in the city, the other night he called up and he just said, hey, you want to come for dinner? And I was like, I've been waiting a long time for that kind of stuff. He's in his 30s now and he goes like, come for dinner. I'm like, dude, this is great. You're going to cook? Okay, I'm coming. So, and then afterwards he said, we were hanging around talking and I said, hey, it's a beautiful night tonight. He goes, hey, you want to go for a walk? I said, yeah. So his wife and he and my wife Terry, and we went for a walk and we walked. It was a beautiful night. We walked down and we walked. He said, have you walked across the Blue Bridge at night yet? And I said, no, I haven't done that. Let's do that. So we walked across. Anybody, you've done it? Have you done the walk? You should do it if you've never done it. It's like magic. You walk across the Blue Bridge and you walk across, and if you walk one side, you stop and you can see the harbor and the city and the lights at night. During the day, you can see all the activity of the boats and the planes, and just stop, by the way, stop walking for a moment. Just look and go like, this is cool. We live in this city. This is an amazing place to live. And then The interesting part of all of that is you get to walk back across the bridge again and just enjoy the stroll. So if you don't have to really go somewhere and you can just enjoy it, I would encourage you just to go and enjoy it. Now, I don't know what bridges you've walked across in your life. I've gone from coast to coast in my life, and some of the Canadian big bridges haven't all hit yet, but I know that I've walked across like the Brooklyn Bridge in New York. By the way, most people just drive it. They never walk it. I have never walked this bridge, but I've driven across it. I've been to San Francisco and done the Golden Gate. But some of you have walked the Golden Gate, maybe. Maybe you went and did it, right? And like this is a long walk. And it's amazing, right? To do something that people are creating, these big bridges. What does the bridge do? It gaps someplace, right? This is where you were. This is where you want to go. And one of the things I want to say to you is, this is where you are right now, and hope's going to take you to where you need to be. And I want you to be really clear to understand that hope is something that's as real as a bridge that you walk on. And it's the journey that you're going to walk. So you can just stay where you are. You can just say, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to stay in my diseased space, my infected space, my distressed space. I'll just hang out in my dis world. Or you can say, I'm going to walk out of that dis world and I'm going to walk across and I'm going to go into, on this bridge of hope, I'm going to go somewhere else. The thing is that let me not try to tell you what this is, other than when you start experiencing it, you're kind of going like, I don't want to go back. And I've been finding people are hanging out. We're doing steps in midweek right now, and I've been hanging out with guys, and there are men and women who are walking through this, and I've been hearing guys in my groups are saying like, just by coming and hanging out, and I'm going to say this to you, just by hanging out in a community like this, the drive to be addicted drops by 50% just by hanging out with other people who are going like, I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to respond to that. Just by hanging out here tonight. And when you start hanging out with people who are going like, that's the direction I want to go, you kind of go like, well, you know, I just want to stay in this little world. Or you can say, no, I'm not going to do that. How do you actually get across that bridge? And you don't get it at first because hope is just elusive. It's like somebody go like, it's like fairy dust or something. Like, faith, hope, and love. Oh, great. Thank you. Have a little hope. Oh, thank you. I don't know what are you talking about? It makes no sense. Well, here's what hope is about. So hope is really about this, and I'll try to be really quick. Hope is saying, and we know the acrostic around here in a CR world, but hope is about the higher power that we know is Jesus Christ. Now, here's the thing that I want to say to you from Romans 15:13. It says this, we follow after the God of hope. Not the God of judgment, not the God of despair, not the God who says, like, you're never going to make it, not the God that you're the failure, we think that so many of us are wrapped up in thinking, you're thinking that God is the condemner. God is going like, I'm here to break stuff off you. I'm here to move stuff away from you. I'm here to move you to a new full life. Do you get that? And if you don't, you will get that if you move into this. Here's the thing you need to do. O is the open change. You got to be open to change. So here's the thing about that is you just got to be open your eyes. Try that. Some of us are aware of this. We've been reading some books and looking at this. Do you know, like, if you take a screen in front of people and a computer screen and you put like a wheat field in front of them and you give them a buzzer and you say, hey, when the path opens up in front, just ring the buzzer. And so what happens, they begin to manipulate the grain on the field to start creating a path. Do you know how big the path is before the average person rings the buzzer? 1/3 the size of the screen. Now you go like, what are you talking about? 1/3 of the screen. They go, oh, there's a path there. I'm telling you right now, there's a path right in front of you. You can't see it. And I want to say to you that path is hope in which you move toward. Okay, I'll stop there. Let's go to the next one because some of you are not engaged in that, so I'll just go to that. All right, so then we go to power to change, and there's power. Here's the thing. You and I don't have the power, but we have power two ways. One is that we express ourselves to God, and God can do something in our life. I don't even know how that works. I've been like following Jesus for a long time, but I just go, there are times in my life, I don't know how it even works. God, could you do something for me right now? I don't deserve anything. But could you do something for a friend? Could you change something in my brain? The chemicals in my brain are all screwed up. I need to think clear. And God can do stuff. God can do stuff for us. And I want to say to you that there's a second power. There's the power of community. Some of you don't know this part of the gospel, but it says this. We are saved to God and we are saved to one another. You are not on this journey alone. And if you think it's all about, oh, well, I don't get this thing, it's about this thing too. And where reality is, you know how this relationship can get screwed up? This relationship gets screwed up. Anybody on that? And then we go, that's why we hang out here, because we go like, we got to make things right. We got to get right. So power to change, and then there's expect change. Now, some of you have lost that. You go, I think it's hopeless. It's never going to happen. The last part I want to say to you is expect change. Expect change. Somebody said this, who the author, his last name is West. They wrote these words. They said, you can choose a partner. Like you can say, oh, he's the one or she's the one. Oh, I'm going to choose this person as a partner. You can choose a job. Some of you have a choice to choose a job. Work here, work there. Choose a neighbor. But here it is. It's not just a choice of a partner or a job or a neighbor. It's a choice of a life. That's weird, isn't it? When you make a choice, you're choosing a life. So I'm going to ask you, think about the choices that you're making tonight. All right, let's do some more disses. Ready? Go for more disses? So, I had to go through, I had a massive, by the way, my name is Bob, and I'm a grateful believer of Jesus. You're supposed to say hi, Bob. So, yeah, that helps me. I feel better now. So, the part of what goes on is, I broke, it's in a similar season of my life, I broke my head and I broke my heart. I broke my head and I broke my heart. Here's the thing that was good out of the broken. It was really hard in the recovery process, long time for recovery. I really messed up, and I was like, okay. But here's the thing, all the junky stuff in my life, it just didn't go away. It kind of came up to the surface. Because, if you hide stuff a lot, then what happens is eventually it's going to come somewhere. It comes out of us, right? So it was like, instead of this in my life going like, well, I'm going to just try to shove that down. Let's not talk about that. I was like, this is the good thing. If you get hit hard enough, you'll start talking about stuff in life, right? You get hit hard enough, you have some pain in your life, you go, I'm going to start talking about something. So I started talking about something. And I actually ended up in an office of a doctor who was like, just studies brains, right? And so they're going like, we can send you to a specialist. And I'm like, great. I know I'm messed up, but we got to do that. And they go, yep. And they said, and I was waiting for this great diagnostic. And I remember this neurologist, a psychoneurologist, that's like if you got real issues, right? said to me, what is your issue, dude? You're like so dismissive. Another dis word. Oh, dismissive. You know what dismissive is? Just say something to me and I do this. You say something and I just do that. I dismiss you. I don't need to hear you. I don't want to be around you. If you do that long enough, you get to be a real loner. You get that? So outside I could be like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. But inside I was like dying because I'm a really lone. Why? Because nobody knows me. Right? And you have to be known. Known by God, known by others. All right, I'll go beyond. Let's keep moving here. The other thing, I thought I'm done, right? No more diagnostics. They said, yeah, you're disengaged. Oh, another dis word. Disengaged. Okay, engaged, right? So disengaged means what? Like, instead of like jumping in and doing something, oh, go to steps. No, I'm not going to go to steps. So go to CR. I'm not going to go to CR. No, deal with your stuff. No, I'm not going to deal with my stuff. Disengage. I'll just go do my own thing. Anyone here try to do your own thing and it worked out? Yeah. Go ahead. Do your own thing. Just make your own thing happen. But what happens is we come and we submit ourselves saying, God, you actually understand my dismissive junk, and you understand my disengaged junk, and you understand that me telling you this right now is very, I'm discomforted by it. It's not a dis word, right? I'm not feeling good about this. All right, well, let me stop with that. Here's what happens when you go through a change in your life. And by the way, change is really an amazing thing because all of us have gone through changes, and some of them you've fought against. Here's the thing I would want to say to you is that change will just happen to you. Stuff just happens. And some stuff's not your fault, by the way. Some stuff happened to you when you were a kid, not your fault. It is somebody else's fault. But it affected your life. And you're dealing with you're still dealing with junk, and it wasn't even your fault. And then then you grow up, and then it's your fault. Right? Then you start doing stuff and go like, well, that was my fault. I've taken responsibility for that one. Well, when you guys go through that, changes happen. But transition or transformational things doesn't just happen. That's a choice. A choice to say, I want something by God's empowerment in community to see something change in my life. And I'm now going to take a new walk on this new bridge. I'm going a different direction. I'll get back to it in a second here. So I'll give it to you real quick. A lot of dis words. So a guy named William Bridges, isn't that a beautiful name? William Bridges. That's the real guy's name. He's a real author, wrote this book called The Way of Transition. Good name, eh? And he said, when you go through something like this, you have disengagement. And when you go through disengagement, you go into a space in your life where you just move away from other people. That's not good. Then you have disidentification. You don't know who you are anymore. I used to be this, but I'm not that anymore. I don't get who I am anymore. Anyone ever feel like that? I have. Then you get disenchanted. I don't like what's going on in my life like that. I want a different life. But the disenchantment is really weird. Some people go back and they fantasize about an old life they never really had, but that's the one they want. Wouldn't it be great just to have this, beautiful old life, and that's not it? I'm going to tell you where the life really is in a minute. Well, I want to just tell you now, it's on the other side of the bridge. It's not the one you're sitting in right now, right? And then there's disorientation. You know what disorientation is? You feel like you're sick. I'm so lost. I don't know what to do. Here's the great thing about this, is if you're willing to go through a little bit of discomfort, you can come to discovery. And discovery is a new life. I want to discover something new. I'm going to tell you where that new life is. It's on the other side of the bridge. So I just want you to get this tonight. And I said to you, just say something kind of like to somebody, almost kind of like little with joy or cheeky, like, hey, there's hope for you. Which when we said that, it's kind of like, dude, you're sick, there's hope for you. You're kind of like, you're looking at a person, I know there's hope for you. It's like, because you're identifying who that other person is. Some of you actually did that. Some of you did that my way. You're going like, yeah, there's hope for you, buddy. But now I want you to do something different that we practice around here. I know it's kind of weird. You don't have to do it. But if you want to do it, I want you just to turn to another human being, maybe beside you, or maybe it's the person's behind you. And I want you to make a little eye contact. I know that's really tough. I just want you to look at them. And then I want you to look at them and speak with your eyes and then with your heart. And then out of your mouth, say the words. It's got to take a little bit of moment. You cannot do it like you did the first time. You have to look at the person, wait, and you need to say to this other person, there's real hope for you. And when those words are spoken to you by another human being, your responsibility is this. Not to say anything, just to go, you can say these words, and I receive that. And you need to have that received. So give it a try. Pass it on. Wow. Wow. I receive that. Johnny, there's real hope for you. Some of you have lost hope. I'm sorry. I want you to receive it. I want you to get it. I just want you to get the hope. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace. If you can't get the joy, at least get the peace, right? As you trust in Him. That's one of the first principles we have here. That you may overflow with hope. There's the word again. What comes out of you? Hope. By the power of the Holy Spirit. It is not your deal. You just say, God, give that to me and let me give it to somebody else. But here's the thing. I'm going to say this. You can't really give hope to anybody else unless you really received it, right? So then we start doing it. So I know all of you tonight received a little bit of hope, just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. You know what? You know what we learn around here? All you need is how much hope you. It's just like faith. All you need is like a little mustard seed piece, right? Little tiny seed. You just get that little seed, pass that on to somebody else, and you go like, but you don't understand. I know. But we're going to stand here together in this. I'm done. Are you okay with that? I don't have anything else to say. The bridge is what? Hope is the bridge to a new life. That's what it is, the God of hope. He's going to take us there. Let's stand up together. All right. Hey, God, help us as we go to group tonight. And I just pray that we would just listen to each other. I pray that we wouldn't do crosstalk stuff. I would ask that we would respect and honor each other's conversations. And I pray tonight for those who kind of drifted in or are here or whatever reasons. They're just going to go like, I don't know, is there hope? I pray tonight that they would know even if they don't sense it or feel it or fully know it, somehow in their brains that there would be a chemical transaction that goes like, there is hope for you. Now I ask that we would be honest and real in group. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, so right up front of this group over here, there'll be a group for guys up here dealing with any kind of